For today, I'm gonna teach you how to perform a thin layer chromatography experiment. So for the first, the material that we need to use is a chromatography paper. Okay, so we need to use one empty beaker for our solvent, and we need to use distilled water, acetic acid. This is developing chamber, a microcapillary tube, a sample. Okay, so for this sample we will use food coloring and a light pencil. So this is our solvent that we use for our thin layer chromatography. Okay, this is 5 ml of acetic acid and distilled water with the ratio of 7 to 3 of acetic acid to distilled water. Okay, so we just pour this solvent inside the developing chamber. Okay, we just need 5 ml only of the solvent, and we close the chamber immediately to make sure all of the solvent vapor is saturated inside here. So after we close the lid of the developing chamber, make sure we wait around 5 to 10 minutes to make sure all of the vapor solvent is very saturated inside the developing chamber. Okay, we want to obtain a very saturated vapor condition. Next, by using a very light pencil, we should draw a line from the bottom of the paper to here is 1 cm, and we have to draw another line which is 5 cm upward from the paper. Okay, so this is 1 cm, from here to here is 1 cm, and from here to here is 5 cm. Next, by using a microcapillary tube, we use a sample which is a food coloring. We take a drop of the sample and we place at the bottom of the line which is 1 cm. We make a very small spot here. Okay, so make sure we have a very small spot to make sure there is a very concentrated sample here. Okay, so after that we make sure the sample is really dry before we put this thin layer chromatography paper into the developing chamber. After the sample is really dry, we can put this thin layer chromatography paper inside this developing chamber. Okay, make sure the depth of the solvent is less than 1 cm. So just like this, and close the solvent almost immediately, as we can see. Okay, so we need to make sure the solvent do not touch the sample. Okay, when we are put this paper, make sure it is less than 1 cm. So we just wait for a few minutes to ensure the capillary action will take up the sample from downward to upwards, and a separation will occur. So as we can see, the capillary action has taken the sample upwards. Okay, so we wait the solvent reach up to 5 cm, which is the line above. Okay, so we just wait for a few minutes. So after the sample is reached to 5 cm, okay, we need to take out the sample from this developing chamber by using a forceps, and we place it on here. So make sure this paper is really dry before we can calculate the retention factor. by drawing a line here. Okay, so that's all. Thank you.